Sunbelt champion Troy meets Duke in the 76 Birmingham Bowl on December 23rd at Protective Stadium. Tickets are on sale now, starting at just $30. The pregame festivities kick off December 22nd at the Bud Light Fan Fest Pep Rally at Uptown with live music, team pep rallies, and everything else you need to get in the game day spirit. This season, fill your holidays with good cheer. Get tickets and more information at birminghambowl.com.
That was neat. We trying a little something new around here. Let's see here. John Wahl, born 1986, is an American political strategist and butterfly breeder who is the incumbent chair of the Alabama Republican Party, serving since 2021. He is also a vice chair of the Republican National Committee, representing its Southern Division since 2023. Wikipedia says John Wahl is the youngest chair of a state Republican Party in the United States. I love it when the bio is brief. That gives us a lot to talk about. But first, John Wahl, tell me a joke.
All right. Well, you heard there's two things about me that are probably the biggest. One, I'm chairman of the state Republican Party. I'm also a butterfly farmer.
Yeah.
Now here's the good news. I'm going to take this immediately, both butterflies and political for you.
Okay.
You are lucky. The state of Alabama is lucky to have a chairman of the party who's a leptozoologist, which is the scientific term for butterfly farmer.
Okay.
Because as a leptozoologist, I can tell the difference between men and women. And that, unfortunately, is unfortunate. It is a rare skill in the politics of America today.
I like that one.
No. It makes me overqualified to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. So how's that?
Well, I'm going to just be honest. We really don't approve of political jokes here.
Oh, no.
We've seen too many get elected.
I
got a good one, too.
There's I got to come back at you. There's an old Mark Twain quote I love. And it goes, imagine yourself an idiot. Now imagine yourself a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. So I have some friends in Congress, so I use that one sparingly. But
I say it like this. I have friends in Congress. I have friends all over the place, but I don't know if they call me their friend sometimes the way I behave. But.
Well, look, let's talk. We'll talk about Congress as a whole, not about individuals.
There we go.
How's that?
Man, so first of all, I'm a big nerd, and I love hearing about stuff I know nothing about. So, like I said, I love a brief bio because it gives a lot to talk about. I would love to know what made you interested in butterflies, meaning tell me about your parents and the house you were raised in, and did you play, you're a tall guy, did you play basketball, who are you?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Well, I'll work back on the questions you gave there.
Oh, I forgot. And I love to know where people went to church.
Oh, that's a good one. So I did not play basketball.
Okay.
I'm 6'4". I'm 6'4", weigh about 220. Probably should have played football. I'm not slow for a tall man. But no, for some reason, my love was always more unusual sports. And one of those was soccer. I don't have the build for it, but I had some good friends growing up that played with them, and just to me, I enjoyed it. It's always moving. I have a hard time watching sports because my personality wants to be involved in it, right?
Okay.
I want to do it. So I always say, if someone else can do it, I can do it.
Right.
That's why I always get injured around the Olympics.
Because you think you're an Olympian all of a sudden.
100%. I see those gymnasts. I'm like, look, if they can do it, I can do it.
Right.
Yeah, I end up with a back strain. I joke about that, but it's true. I really do believe in the American dream. This idea that if you want to do something, man, go for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter who you are.
We were chatting before we got started, and I was curious about how to be, funny enough, politically correct. Like, tell me what it was like. You're a Mennonite. What was it? I want to know about that.
Yeah. So grew up Anabaptist, which is similar. It has some similar stuff with Mennonites.
Like how?
Well, very, very conservative, right? Very, very family oriented.
Okay.
Grew up on a farm in rural North Alabama, just about 10 miles south of the Tennessee border.
Yeah.
There's a lot more Anabaptist, and Mennonites in Tennessee than there are in Alabama, but there's some in North Alabama as well.
Okay.
But just very conservative. Think about it almost like a Baptist, but a very, very conservative Baptist.
I read that, like, you had some challenges in meeting your aspirations as far as electronics and stuff like that. Like, you guys didn't have.
So
like,
I'm old fashioned, right?
Okay.
That's how I like to put it. It's all those things. You get used to it. Like, there's not really a struggle now, but I was raised much more old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I actually like that. I think we've lost a lot as a culture because we have, everything is just handed to people now.
Yeah.
And I grew up on a farm. A lot of, growing.
Like, when you say farm,
growing
you mean
food.
Real farm?
That's right.
Growing
Growing
your
our
own
food. Ran cattle.
Okay.
To this day, most of the, to me, I call it real food. You eat some of the packaged stuff, it's just not the same as what you.
Okay.
Once you eat a homegrown tomato, you can't go back to a store-bought one.
Now, that's true, because I love growing tomatoes. I always have a little garden in the summer.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's real. I call that real life. So we get so caught up, and especially in the political world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of all these things where you're out there, this political philosophy, this, that. And I'm like, what we forget is real life. And we've got real people.
Yeah.
So I love my roots. I love growing up on a farm.
Big family, small family?
I'm one of 8 children.
One of 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you in the...
I'm in the middle. That's
okay.
That's why I'm so well-rounded. Obviously, the older children get a little bit... they're a little bit too opinionated, and the younger children are spoiled. But in the middle, we got to deal with the older children and the younger children. So I'm fourth in the order.
Okay.
But no, grew up on a farm. Love the outdoors. To this day, my idea of a vacation is to go hike in a national park. I love the outdoors. I love nature. I'm obviously, my faith is important to me. Mm-hmm. I love God's creation. I don't think there's anything better than getting out there, just feeling what His original intent was, and the wind in your face, climbing a mountain, whatever that is, looking at a flower. So
I'm such an indoors boy.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Man, I would. But go ahead.
Yeah. No. So I love the outdoors. Growing up on a farm, love nature, but butterflies were always special. I loved butterflies. I was a little boy with a butterfly net. Running through the woods chasing butterflies, and I guess I was probably about 16, and toured the Huntsville Botanical Gardens, and they had a butterfly exhibit over there. They had a greenhouse set up where butterflies were flying through, and I remember asking them. I raised butterflies for fun, just on the farm. And I remember asking them that day, do you sell butterflies? Because they had some butterflies in there I'd never seen before, never raised myself, and I was like, I want to try raising those. Those are unique. I've never seen them before. And they're like, no, we don't sell butterflies. We buy butterflies. And when they said that, light bulb moment, I knew instantly if they bought them, I could sell them to them. And so I started my business while I was still in high school. Started farming while I was still in high school, and never looked back. Been tremendous opportunity. It's one of those industries you'll never be a millionaire being a butterfly farmer, but make a good living, and I'm very blessed.
Okay. Now, to the real reason we're here, And you did that perfectly. These beautiful butterflies. I want to know about them. Like
you want some details.
Yeah. Like tell me about butterflies and farming them.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot more like other types of farming than you would think. So in that, I mean, think about it like a mini flying cow. Okay, I see you're having trouble over there. Follow through with me.
I'll try.
All right, so you got your breeding stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put them into I use basically greenhouse frames, but instead of plastic on them, netting. And they got the plants in there that they want, that they like, the flowers for the adults. Now, every type. This is something a lot of people don't realize. Almost every type of butterfly will only lay eggs on a specific plant, or maybe 2 or 3 plants. They're called their host plants. So I can have a house full of all different kinds of plants, but I know I can put a potted plant in there, their host plant, and they will only lay eggs on that one plant.
Okay.
So it's kind of unique. You got to grow if you're wanting to attract butterflies too. That's a big thing. You don't just need flowers. You also need a place for them to lay eggs for the caterpillars. In that process of development.
Okay, so stop right there. So tell me what kind of plants. Like, okay, come this spring.
Yes.
What should I plant to get a lot of butterflies?
All right. So, oh boy, it's going to be difficult because everyone has a different one. Remember. Okay. All right. So milkweed. I always recommend milkweed because monarchs are almost endangered. Like they're struggling, right? And so their host plant is milkweed.
Milkweed.
No other butterfly is going to
forget milkweed.
No other butterfly is going to stop on the milkweed, but the monarchs.
Okay.
But that's good for them. Other ones that you will almost always end up with helping the local butterflies and seeing the caterpillars are things, believe it or not, like dill, parsley.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's for the black swallowtail, and you'll usually see the caterpillars if you plant them.
Uh-huh.
Dill, parsley. Then a lot of the others have a lot of natural host plants that you may try to plant them, but they're going to already be out there in the wild. Like wild cherry is a host plant.
I'm doing milkweed.
Yeah.
I want the monarchs.
Milkweed and parsley. You can't go wrong. And I'll tell you another third one that will almost always you'll see caterpillars if you plant it is passion flower vines. The scientific name is Passiflora incarnata.
Okay.
But passion flower vines almost always.
I'm gonna remind you in the spring.
You text me in the spring.
Yeah.
I'll send you a list of plants.
I'm serious too.
No, but it's a good question because butterflies have that life cycle, right? Like they start off as adults, they lay eggs. So you got the adult stage, the eggs, then they hatch out into caterpillars, and then those caterpillars finish up and they pupate into the pupa stage, and then those hatch back up to adults. So there's 4 unique stages to a butterfly. Yeah. And they're not like other animals where they don't hatch out as a butterfly. They hatch out as a caterpillar and go through the metamorphosis process.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Now this is a weird off question, but do you have any experience with hummingbirds?
I'll tell you my experience with hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds.
I love hummingbirds.
I wanted to grow hummingbirds too because there is a market. Federal government regulations scared me off. They are so much paperwork to raise hummingbirds. It is insane. Because I've got all the houses, I could easily raise them along with the butterflies. But
I tell you what, I want you to teach me like how to get, like I won't farm federal government. I'm just wanting to grow them. And so like just setting up the right stuff because when I put those nectar feeders out, I just love them. I love them.
I still, even though I don't raise them, I put those feeders out.
Yeah.
It's so fun every year because you'll have the adults come in, and then that first brood, you'll see the young ones.
Yeah.
The young ones coming and learning where the food's at.
Yeah.
Coming in and then watching that throughout the year and just how they fight with each other and interact. Like hummingbirds are special animals. Now butterflies are still my favorite. Something people don't realize about butterflies is that they have a personality. I know you don't think about it. And every species has a little bit different personality, and some like smaller, will fly lower in the house. Some will be up in the roof. They like the sun, higher. And everyone is different to the point that I can actually look across the field and tell you what type of butterfly it is, and usually whether it's a male or a female. by the way it acts and the way it flies.
That's cool.
My family didn't believe it for a long time. They were like, "You can't do that," and I was like, "Yes, I can." And had a chance to prove it a couple of times. And
I took my daughter to the butterfly place in Huntsville, and it was so cool. But I'm going to bring her to your farm.
Well, you do realize if you were there, that means you probably saw my butterflies.
Probably did, didn't they?
Yeah,
because they're not farming them out there.
They were my first customer, and I've loved having them as a customer ever since. They're a great place.
Such a cool experience. Now, I don't live in regrets. Don't believe in them. But if you could go back in time to an age, what age would you go back to, and what advice would you give your younger self?
Well, first thing, if I could go back forever, I would go back to Adam and Eve and stop Eve from eating that fruit. Let's just get that straight.
Let's get that straight. I agree.
But no. That's a powerful question. That is a powerful question. I think I would. I am very blessed that I probably have not. I don't have a lot of major regrets in my life. I really don't. My personality. I went for my dreams, and I was able to. Like I said, I'm blessed that I was able to accomplish them. I think the biggest thing I would do is go back and tell myself to be more serious sooner. Even though as a young man I was very serious. Young people have a hard time realizing that they have something to give. And, a lot of times they feel like there's not a place for them. And as the youngest state party chairman in the country, I may be ahead of most people already, but I still think that's a lesson we can all learn. Is don't be afraid to share, to know that you have something to share, because we all do. We're all unique. We all have a unique perspective, and we're all children of God. And with that comes an ability to have a voice and have an opinion that deserves to be heard.
Crazy Ivan going on right here. But you brought up children, and I have to bring this up. We're catching hell here in Birmingham with our kids. Reading scores are down. The class. I have been encouraging people who come on the podcast to say something about volunteering in schools or the importance of reading.
Yep.
What do you have to say on that subject to inspire not only kids, but adults out here who think they don't have anything to give to the school system or whatever?
Everyone. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about. Everyone has a voice. Everybody also has something to give. That's why we're on this earth, to help other people have a better life. And so I love that. I love that you're encouraging people to do that. And for me, one of the things that I'm working on that is very important to me is school choice for the state, because I don't think that a child's zip code should define their quality of education. I believe that that's probably one of the greatest freedom issues we're fighting right now, is that parents should have the decision where they send their children to school and have access to the funding. And if they want to find a creative way to help their child have better success, they should have access to it. And that through that competition will help everyone have a better education.
We're going to dig even deeper on that. I want to ask, how can people follow you on social media? Where are your hangouts? What are your platforms so people can check you out and see butterflies and elephants?
I'm still. That's right. I'm mostly on Facebook. Alabama Republican Party Chairman John Wahl.
It's ALGOP Chairman John Wahl. I know it for
that's right.
And you have,
and then also on Twitter. Well, X. I keep wanting to call it Twitter. I'm not sure about that change to X.
Say
it will forever be Twitter. We're never calling it X.
I agree. I don't get the X thing. Like, you got a good branding thing going on. Why change it?
I'm to this day, when I'm going through the icons, I'm looking for the blue bird, and then I have to remember.
How do you tweet? if it's not tweeting anymore, I guess it's Xing.
Xing.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but on your Facebook, you have. We gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to ask you that. And we got your social media handles. Tell us one more joke.
Oh, one more joke.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is not really a joke, but this is something I love to say.
Okay.
I believe that God has a sense of humor. And I believe that because in my life, he's given me both the ugliest and the most beautiful parts of life, politics and butterflies. And so I think that it's a good yin to the yang, right? I get to go out there and do battle and, talk about the things that I'm passionate about in the political world, get dragged down, and then I get to go home to butterflies and get lifted up.
This podcast is being brought to you by the Jones Group. The Jones Group is a full-service government relations and strategic communications firm specializing in political, corporate, and nonprofit consulting at the local, state, and federal levels. Their commitment to every client is twofold, providing trusted service and desired results. The Jones Group has built a national reputation that stands for integrity, efficacy, service, and results. You can find them on the web at www.jonesgroupllc.com.
What's your favorite charity?
That's a good question. I bet there's a lot of good ones out there, and I don't when I pick this one, I don't want it to be negative towards anything else because there are tremendous charities in so many areas. I think my favorite, though, as a man of faith, it's a charity called Voice of the Martyrs.
Tell us about it.
It's a charity that specializes in countries that are where Christians are facing persecution because they're out there, and it's hard. Here in America, we're in this American bubble. We don't have that religious persecution. But it is out there.
They're out there, yeah.
Yeah, and this charity specializes in especially people who are actually lose their homes. Maybe their homes are burned down or they're displaced or they're directly facing persecution, supporting the persecuted church across the world. And I love their work. I think they provide a lot of great just education, helping just food, places to live for people who are being persecuted, and just the chance for them to have their needs met even facing that persecution.
Well, what's going to happen is if you don't answer one of these questions, you have to make a donation to your favorite charity.
I like it.
But I'm going to go light on you because some of it is Birmingham and you may not have gone.
Well, so here's the good news. Even if I fail, I'm going to be given to this charity anyway. It won't hurt me too bad.
And I'm gonna just keep it real. I make it a point to get one donation out of you. All right. So first of all, Alabama or Auburn?
And I can't see no comment. Okay. I'm gonna. One of the figures that I look. I'm unapologetically a Christian, right? And I love how Jesus for hard questions, he had smart answers. So I'm going to give you a smart answer.
Okay.
How do you root against a team whose colors are red, their mascot's an elephant, and they carry the name of the state?
Roll Tide, roll. Roll Tide, roll.
I'm with you.
I like him. I really. Did I tell you was going to like him? I like him. Birmingham Legion or Birmingham Stallion?
I'm gonna go with Birmingham Legion.
I knew you would. Hammer down. Yeah. Birmingham Barons or Birmingham Squadron?
Barons.
Okay.
But only because I rented a room there and for a party event once.
Okay. Okay. Birmingham Zoo or McWane Science Center?
Birmingham Zoo. They're one of my customers.
Okay.
you got to
wouldn't take it. Yeah.
You got to show love to your people. Okay?
That's right. Crossplex or Legion Field?
Legion Field. I love it after dark. The city lights around. It's a great venue.
Protective Stadium or Legacy Arena?
Ooh. going to go to Legacy Arena. I the World Games here. I enjoyed the renovation of that. Like that was a good experience.
I really love the World Games. Protective state. Oh, hold on. No, I want to do Botanical Gardens or Railroad Park.
I'm gonna go for the Botanical Gardens. I being a butterfly farmer. You do a lot with plants too, and I very much have a love for plants and seeing the different stuff from around the world and just what they can do, how they can make it look so beautiful every part of the year. Like that is not easy. So
right in the fall and winter months, that's a good point. Regents Park or Rickwood Field?
Regents Park.
Okay. Now, do you cook? Well, we talked about that, but I'm going to just say, yes, he cooks.
I do.
And I want you to tell us what you're going to cook for your family.
Oh, that's cheating because I can't answer that on the air.
Oh,
I can give it away. No, I will talk about this, though. I do. I enjoy cooking. To me, it's the greatest art. You know, not everybody.
If you had guests coming over, what would be your throwdown meal? Like you know.
So I've got a few things that I consider some of my signatures. I love seafood, and if I was not a Republican Party chairman and butterfly farmer, I would probably be a seafood chef.
Really?
I honestly love cooking. Like it's artistic. You know, not everyone enjoys art. You know, painting. Not everyone enjoys opera singing or whatever. Everyone enjoys eating. And the blending of spices, the way you take different foods, put them together, it is an art. And I love to experiment, on a higher cuisine level, right?
Yeah.
But no, seafood's my bread and butter. That's what I go to if I'm cooking something for me to eat or for fun or someone's coming over. Seafood.
Well, I just want you to know.
Now, I'd make a good gumbo though.
We're coming over to see the butterflies, and we want to have some seafood lunch.
Okay, all right.
Sally,
all right.
Can I get that on?
I think you're looking for a commitment on the air, and I'm going to give it.
My man, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh, I don't even know.
Really? That's funny. Like I always ask this question: what people's zodiac sign is? I don't know.
Can I Google it? So I don't have to make a donation? No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, this isn't one of them. This isn't one of the donations.
Okay.
You actually got out of that.
Sweet.
You got out of that. But I'm a Capricorn, so I'm like Jesus. No, I'm just saying. And that's the argument. Jesus was a Capricorn, so we're the best sign.
It's hard to argue with that logic. I say instead of argue with the logic of that, I would argue that Jesus might not have been born in December.
Right? There's a little problem there, but for the sake of the banter and debate. But I don't know what it is. But people say I'm a typical Capricorn. Now I don't really know that.
So I think I'm Taurus.
Okay.
Because July.
Okay.
But I'm not.
So has anybody been like, you're such a Taurus?
No.
All right.
Or at least I would duck and not remember that it is. It's hard for them to say anything like that if they don't know. If I don't know my own zodiac sign.
There you go. What's your favorite color?
This is a hard one for me as a Republican, but my favorite color is blue.
Your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Christmas is you can't beat Christmas.
Family, just and I will give a shout out to Thanksgiving because it's hard not to.
Yeah.
It's anytime you can get everybody together and eat. That makes it a good time.
I have a hard time between Christmas and Thanksgiving, but I think it's like if you ask me not around the holidays, I'm probably going to say Christmas, but Thanksgiving is that first big one,
it is.
And I'm just so anxious for it when it comes.
Yeah. And it's fun. What I love about Christmas is that no matter how jaded people are, no matter how even the mainstream media, who I think don't like to talk about anything but negativity all the rest of the year, around Christmas time, there's a little bit of kindness and gentleness and compassion.
Don't you love seeing
everyone.
all the little stories on the news?
Yep.
They replaced the killings with the Grinch coming and playing with the kids earlier. I saw so.
Just a little bit of humanity and a little bit of love and kindness.
That's right.
And boy, what a better testimony to the life of Jesus Christ than that.
Now, I got one last for you.
All right.
Your favorite scripture, Bible figure, or Bible story?
Well, there's a trump card in there because you got Jesus Christ. How can you not pick him for a figure in the Bible? Now, I think for me, one of my favorite growing up as a kid, one of my favorite stories was Gideon. Because, and I know it's not a usual one, but I like the fact that he, God asked him to do something, and he really didn't want to do it. And he ended up asking 2 or 3 times for proof for the fleece. And I feel like I'd be the same way. But no, I really don't want to do it. Do I have to? And he was giving mercy to that. And even though he was saying, "Hey, do I have to do it?" And I was like, "Yes, you have to do it." But and then going on to winnowing down his people. He got all the soldiers together, and I was like, "That's too many. Less of them." And he was like, what's going on here? But he did it. He did it. He followed what God told him to do, and it was successful. So
what a great choice. Now, I want to make sure I gotta get one more. Be quick. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I was actually asked this the other day, but I was given just 2 options: flying and invincibility. I chose invincibility because,
of course,
who cares what you do? You're gonna be all right. So that would be my superpower.
Invincibility.
Yeah.
Now,
flying would be cool though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna choose flying.
I would rather be an invincible flying superhero.
Yeah. Superman.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, let me set this up. First of all, I don't know if anybody around me knew this, but I was excited for you to come.
Oh, well.
And I'm almost never excited. Like, I'm excited to see friends and catch it, but I'm not excited because change is walking in the door, right? And like, I truly believe that you're that guy, as the term goes. And I told you that how much I really like that NPR piece. But I want to know, what did they leave out? I want to know what wasn't said. And just to tell people what's going on, John is very committed to growing the Alabama Republican Party and the Republican Party in general, and reaching out intentionally to young people and minorities. And he talked a great deal about what some loose ideas were. But it's, always they're going to pick and choose what sounds good in the piece. And I just wanted to give you a platform to tell us what wasn't there. And either you're about to make me the wrongest guy in the world, or everybody's going to see why I'm so excited about you.
Well, look, let me tell you right off. It's a passion of mine. I'm the youngest chairman in the country, right? And with that, obviously, comes that desire to reach out to young people. We talked about it a little bit earlier, how everyone has a voice, no matter what your age is. But it's the same thing with your ethnic background. I look at every single person as a child of Almighty God. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who you are. We all have those equal rights. And I love that's the idea of the American dream. It doesn't matter who you are. We all were endowed by our Creator with these rights, and to have the chance to go after them. And I love that's the idea America was founded on. Mm-hmm. So for me, that outreach, because what I want to explain to people is that for me is the reason I believe in the Republican Party is not because of the politicians who call themselves Republicans. Republican itself, the Republican Party is just a name. For me, it's about values that the party represents, those platform issues. And I think a lot of people, if you look at the Republican platform versus the Democrat platform, if you don't put that title on the personalities of people on the top, and you just look at the values, your values are going to align more with the Republican Party.
Let me, I would not be worth my salt. People would think I had lost my mind if I didn't ask. And that is, how do you reconcile the rhetoric, some of the racism, some of the negativity against the principles? Like, a lot of people see those platforms and are it's appealing, but that the rhetoric is beating you over the head. And so, just what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think the first thing is, we as Republicans, the Republican Party, needs to realize that we've given away our birthright. And by that I mean, who was the party? Which of the parties was the party that stood against slavery back in the 1800s? It was the Republican Party. In the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s, which party stood arm to arm with black pastors, against the KKK and the Democrat Party? It was the Republicans. We were fighting for equal justice and individual liberty and protecting people's rights and freedoms in the Civil Rights Movement.
Now, let me hold you up right there. So, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Those were the principles. Black people were Republicans. That's where we were. And, I'm not about to go into a history lesson as far as, the switch and this and another. But I do want to highlight what you said as far as the platform. The platform hasn't changed. The personalities have.
Yep.
The players have. But that platform has never changed. Now, people have manipulated and gone aside. So I just want you to dig down on it, and so that people don't say I didn't ask you that question.
No. I mean, look, and it's a great question, because if you think about those platform issues, right? Like limited federal government that doesn't try to control your life. That's good for everyone. That's
especially for small business.
Amen.
Yeah.
When you think about individual liberty and the fact that you have equal rights with every other person. Individual. Don't put people into groups. Don't say this group has more rights or that group. No. We want to look at people as individuals and fight for every individual to have equal rights and have equal opportunity. And that's why fighting for individual liberty fits so well with that, so well with the idea of the civil rights movement, because it's really the same fight. Return dignity and rights to the individual. So I think that's the important thing for the Republican Party to remember. We have got to get back to that root message, because that root message, it is the message of America, and it is the message of hope and opportunity and the American dream. And that's what if I could communicate one thing to the people of this state and the people of America from the Republican Party, it's that I genuinely believe that the values, now I'm not talking about individual politicians or personality, but the values of the Republican Party, they best represent your chance to have opportunity in this country. And because we're all looking for the same thing. We all want to be safe. We all want to be successful, and we all want a bright future for our children. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, whoever you are. Those are what we hope to accomplish. And I think it's Republican values that best help us get there.
Now, let's talk specific. And this is my opinion, but our first opportunity to test that theory is in South Alabama with this new congressional district.
Agreed.
How are you going to use that as an opportunity, not just to win, but to grow the base and the party in South Alabama, especially those that look like me and especially those that are younger than him?
Well, I had a very, very progressive white reporter the other day gloating in the fact that the federal court forced this Democrat district on the state of Alabama. And they were like, and we're talking like, what's your hope here? And I said, well, look, my hope, my dream is that, and it may not be this cycle, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. I don't mind this new district, though, because my hope and my dream is that this district is represented. It is represented by a minority congressman, but I want it to be a Republican minority.
Right.
And that may not be this cycle, that may be in the future. But I think if we see the trend continue, where more and more African American voters are voting Republican, it will be. It's just a matter of time. So whether we win this time or not, my goal is to move the ball down the field and to talk about the values and the issues and how they affect people's real world life.
Now, hold on. I want to be sure. Mm-hmm. I want to be sure. So the Alabama Republican Party is going to actively support the candidates there in that race so that our values are on the table.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
100%. And what I love about this is this brings...
Because there are 3 or 4 black people running. 4.
We've got 9 candidates total. 4 of them are black candidates. Yeah. And great. All 4 of them are great people. But I think it gives the party an opportunity to talk about some of these issues that are important to not just Republicans, but to the black community. I was talking about the fact that if you look at the platform and the values we stand for, we're more in alignment than the Democrat Party.
Right. We were talking about Kenneth Pascal.
Yes. Parental rights is a great example of that, right? Protecting children from some of this craziness with the transgender education stuff. I hear that so often when I'm sitting down with one-on-one with black voters, or a black pastor, and they're sharing with me what's important to them as we're talking. These are not black and white issues. These are not Republican Democrat issues even. These are basic common sense human issues.
Yeah.
And we're all facing them. We're all facing these things. And as I talk to them, we're concerned protecting our children. That's an important thing in life, and that's something where the Democrat Party has completely lost their minds, to be honest.
Yes,
men are men, women are women. It's a biological fact. We've got. If you don't accept it, I don't know what we can do to help you.
Right.
And that's something that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about protecting children from this stuff, and that there should not be a social engineering. The federal government, federal Department of Education, who has lost touch with the people of America and lost touch with the black community. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the fact that the Republican Party are the ones who are seeking to protect our children here. And we're going to talk about school choice. Most Democrats.
Yes, I'm glad. Yeah. Man, I was going to forget. Please talk about school choice and the differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party views on that.
Well, the Democrat Party, they want to protect this education system the way it is. They want to keep that system in place, and they want to use it to indoctrinate children with their direction. I don't think that's what schools should be about. Schools should not be about indoctrination. They should not be about telling people how to think. They should be teaching people the skills they need to help them have their own voice and be successful with that voice. And I think part of that is this education system. We see the schools failing. You talked about reading earlier. In math, we're doing a little bit better now, but we were 52nd in math. I first thought that was a joke because there's only 50 states.
Right.
But it's also the DC and then military.
So
okay. We were dead last in math.
I said 49 the other day, so you just corrected me, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Well, I think we are up to 49 now. We were at 52, now we're up to 49. So
no, I was saying that based off of old numbers.
Yeah, no, we went downhill. I think we're back up a little bit off of 52, but no. Look, our education system needs help, period. And the answer is not putting our head in the sand and saying, no, we have to stick with the current education system the way it is, which is what the National Democrat Party believe. State Democrat Party, they just want the status quo. The status quo is failing our communities, and you know what's failing the most are our minority communities. Our black kids are being overlooked. They're being ignored. They don't have equal opportunity. Their zip code is defining their quality of education. And I think that's wrong. And the Republican Party, we are 100% behind breaking that stereotype, getting black parents the opportunity to have access to the same funding where they have the same access to private schools or church schools that wealthier families have. Just because they're in a bad area of town does not mean they shouldn't have those equal opportunities.
We're going to be talking, and I got to get one more commitment out of you since I got you on the spot, and I'd be damned if I'm not going to take advantage of it. Will you come back?
100%.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know when. That was.
We don't know when. I'm talking about it. A couple of months.
Let's come back to the legislative session and talk about some of the legislation that's going on. That would be great.
And so, with that being said, until you come back, leave us with some parting words about your vision, your thoughts, your plans.
Well, first, I'm going to transition this from what we're talking about into this, because for me, my dream is that the state of Alabama would be a beacon of freedom and liberty for every citizen across the entire country and across the world. And part of that, I believe, is getting past looking at people based on the color of their skin and looking at people at their character. I believe that's a Dr. King quote. And that is probably my biggest political dream, because I think that's what divides our state more than anything else. We got to get past that stereotype and look at each other as brothers and sisters and children of God. So that is where I would love to see us head, and just use the vehicle of the Republican Party to bring about positive change for every single Alabamian as we do defend their rights and freedoms and liberties and seek to make their life better. Whether that's school choice, cutting the grocery tax like we did this last year, that's what we want to do. That's what I want to do in that professional role. And I want to do it in my personal life through being kind, respectful, humble, and bringing back a little bit of dignity to the political process.
I was excited to meet you, and you did not let me down.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to be on the show today.
I thank you for your willingness to come and sit down and chat. I want to thank you all for listening and watching. And as always, a huge shout out to Creed63 and urbanham.com. And get involved with the Alabama Minority GOP Caucus. God bless.
Urbanham.com is your source online for the best in people to know, places to go, and things to do. And of course, we have the official Urban Ham merch available right now to match your style. Order the colors that represent you, your high school, college, Greek organization, your favorite sports team, or just find that perfect Urban Ham t-shirt or hoodie to go with those fresh sneakers in your closet. Visit urbanham.com today and click on Shop Urban Ham to place your order.